Hey everybody, Chris Lano here behind the camera, and today I'm standing with Bud Cowgill here at IPD, and welcome to the first episode of the ResRection. So Bud is definitely familiar with owning R models, and he saw this car and we figured we're gonna go ahead and start an episode stream of what it's like to buy an R that needs some help. And Bud went ahead and bought this car, and he's going to be tackling a bunch of different things on it. But Bud, why don't you go ahead and just talk about why you added another Volvo to your fleet of cars and why you decided to go ahead and bring this one back to life.
So I've been wanting a wagon for a long time. I owned a 04 S60R. It's been in some videos here. Chris and I have done a lot of filming with it and testing. Always wanted a wagon. Found this on Facebook Marketplace and just thought, you know, we could go through what it takes to maintain a 20-year-old car and keep it going on the road. We carry tons of replacement parts for these things, upgraded parts. So for those people out there that are just trying to keep their car going, we'll go over some of that stuff. And then people that are looking to modify and keep these things on the road as enthusiasts as well.
How many miles are on it, and what do you think it's going to need?
Well, this car has 287,000 miles on it. Far as I know, stock motor and transmission. Everything runs smooth, shifts good. There's quite a few plastic pieces, interior trim parts, some stuff on the exterior that needs some help. You can definitely tell that it has 287,000 miles when you look at it closely. None of it's holding it back from running and driving well. I've been driving it, my commute's around 15 to 18 miles to work every day. So just started driving it this week and nothing's popped up yet that's gonna leave me on the side of the road. Start by inspecting wiring harness, coil packs, spark plugs, air filter, just all the basic things. And that's all stuff that we carry here at IPD. Fairly basic and easily accessible. One thing that's a little bit more involved to look at is the PCV system. So something on a car this age, you're gonna wanna look for cracked hoses, excess crankcase pressure will cause many oil leaks on cars this old. So currently it's not too bad. There's a little bit of oil residue underneath, but haven't got into it too deep yet.
Let's go ahead and walk around, but let's go and talk about the exterior. We talked about the engine, which we'll pop the hood here in a second, but the exterior, you know, it's a silver R. It's definitely got its share of dings and dents. Let's talk about that.
Well, with the paintless dent removal industry at this point where it is, those guys are busy, but the cost is fairly reasonable. So most things like this, a good paintless dent guy will be able to get out within an hour. So there's probably 8 to 10, this is the most significant one, but there's probably 8 to 10 door dings and dents all over the car. So we'll work with a guy that we know here that's done a lot of our personal cars, and we'll just see if he can come out for an afternoon, fix this thing up. It will cost us, you know, depending on time, I would say anywhere between $500 and $800 on something like this, and all that's gonna vary a little bit depending on your area. I mean, we just talked about the body. I'm not looking for something that's gonna need extensive body and paint work. This has some chips and dings, but I'm not currently worried about that.
Right.
Some of the things that are still available but are fairly expensive, tail lights, bumper skins. Some of the front bumper pieces on these specifically are fairly expensive. I mean, you could spend $1,000 just on a front bumper. This front bumper is in pretty good condition, just missing some wiper headlights.
Headlight wipers.
Parts here. These headlights, but they'll run you around $1,000 a piece. So you're gonna wanna look for that they're at least a complete unit. We do carry replacement glass, bulbs, ballasts. So if you're just adding little things, and the headlight's functional and you just need to get some components for it, we can take care of that, and that will be much cheaper than buying a whole new headlight.
You know, we're gonna go ahead and keep everybody up to speed on what Bud's doing with this car and how it's running and the things that he's tackling, but let's go ahead and look in the interior and see what your plans are with the interior.
Oh, the interior is one of the roughest parts.
Yes.
So, pretty common that this side bolster rips here. People getting in and out of the car. I've worked with a local company here, and I'm trying to track down some seats that match the blue interior. This originally had Gobi, and somebody started switching it at some point, so one of the last things is the 2 front seats and the carpet.
Right.
Which most of the carpet, I believe, is still available from Volvo, or eBay is another good resource for some of these odd OEM pieces like that.
This is the thing that scares me the most, is usually diving in interior, but you've got some plans. Like, we're going to be looking at doing a headliner for this thing, replacing the seats, replacing the carpets. Bud already spent time with his family, basically cleaning the interior to the best of its ability, and got it at least to where it's drivable and you can sit in it, because it was really bad. But obviously there's stains. We haven't shampooed anything yet. We haven't got anything out, but we are going to be ripping the interior completely out of the car and cleaning it and replacing a bunch of pieces. But right now we're doing the initial stages of hunting everything down. But yeah, I mean, this can be a very daunting task for most people, but honestly, it's doable. And I think that's what we're going to go ahead and cover with this car, right? We're going to go show everybody what is possible.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to maintain and keep these cars on the highway. We feel that the P2R is one of the best and most enthusiastic cars that Volvo ever made, and there's no reason to let this one just go to rot. So we're gonna go ahead and clean this one up and go from there. Let's go and pop the hood. All right, so it's not the most attractive engine under the hood here. Like Bud said earlier, we got some PCV things going on. There's missing pieces, plastic parts. But otherwise, right now, we'll be going over and checking compression and do a leak down on it and all that kind of stuff. But like I said, it's not hard. If, you know, worst case scenario, we did have to replace the engine or rebuild it. But that's a different episode for sure. But I don't think so. We want to see how far this one's going to go by cleaning everything up and checking out the wiring and getting this thing looking as OEM as it possibly could under here.
Yeah, I mean, my first step is going to be to clean most of this stuff up. Then I'll start checking components. Some of the stuff you can just visually see because the covers aren't on. This PCV hose is fairly new. It's still soft. When they get old, they will harden and crack. You'll have puddles of oil up here by the coil packs. I can tell that these coil packs look fairly new, and somebody's done some repair to the wiring harness. So these upper engine wiring harnesses, because of the heat, the insulation starts to get brittle over the years and crack off the wires. So it looks like somebody has already went through and repaired some of this. Yeah. And currently it's running good with no misfires, so they must have done a decent job at it.
I think on our next episode what we'll do is we'll get this up in the air and we'll go over all the suspension components and look and see how the suspension's doing. Maybe talk a little bit about 4C. I know you're a big fan of the 4C suspension and lowering springs. This car, you were lucky, came with 19-inch peg wheels from IPD, so that was a bonus. They're a little curb rashed, but we'll go from there. We might be doing something different with that, but yeah.
So currently it has an airbag service light on the dash and the chassis setting service required. So when you see those displays on the dashboard, typically that's related to the 4C system, which is the electronically controlled shocks on these. Now we carry all of those, but before we dive into replacing them, we'll probably hook up to a scanner, see what codes we're getting, and kind of backtrack it from there.
Yep, exactly. But so far it drives pretty well, right? No massive clunks or bumps or anything like that?
No, I mean there's a couple rattles here and there, but I haven't got under the car yet. I've only driven it this is my second day driving it, so hopefully I'll be able to inspect it in the next couple days, figure out what needs replaced, and then start the list and the build plan from there.
We just want to keep you guys involved on what it's like to bring an R back to life. This one was definitely neglected. It's probably one of the nicest running Rs I've heard. So, but we've got tons of components. Obviously, we got all the suspension, the exhaust, all the performance bits, everything like that. And I think that this car is going to come out looking really, really well. So, you excited?
Yeah, I'm ready to get into it.
I can't believe you took on another project like this, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, it's cool. Let's all thank Bud for not letting this car just sit there and wither away and go to nothing. So we're going to keep you guys all involved and up to speed on the episodes, and we'll go ahead and post this around our social media channels and up on YouTube, of course. But yeah, obviously we've done a lot of these in the past. It's been a great car for us, a great model for us to promote. Obviously we got the flash green sitting here next to it. You know, this is going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be great to see how far we can take it by just keeping it alive and keeping it on the highway and making it look really good for everybody to appreciate. It's a fantastic car. So stay tuned for further episodes, and thanks for watching.